It's a pleasure to have you here. We're streaming live on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. Now, the police is on a manhunt for two officials of the National Identification Authority for illegally registering some persons in a private residence at Kaneshie in Accra. The Kaneshie police are currently investigating the matter, but it's already been confirmed that the equipment and registration materials retrieved Tuesday night are the property of the National Identification Authority. At least two Nigerians who attempted to secure Ghana cards have also been declared wanted in a separate case. JoyNews' Matilda Wamega has details.
The Kaneshie police first got a hint of the illegal Ghana card registration on Tuesday at about 9:20 p.m. The private residence close to the St. Teresa Catholic School was raided by the police, and the items seized include fingerprint machines, laptop, a scanner and printer. The police interrogated the landlady of the house where the items were retrieved. National organizer of the NDC, Joshua Kamba, together with some NDC members who filed the complaints following the police raid, explained the reason for bringing in the police.
A woman that I'm told is aspiring to be an assembly member, who is actually...
Who exactly is this woman?
He's called Gifty Barton, who herself is aspiring to be a member, actually aided them and gave an accommodation to them to stay and register. You know that the NIA...
Stay and register where?
In the bedroom and the kitchen. I mean, the woman did confirm that as even the printing machine was set up in the kitchen. That was set up in the kitchen. In the bedroom, our branch executive actually moved to the bedroom to pull these machines out.
So it wasn't even in the compound of the house?
No, not in the compound, in the kitchen, in the bedroom. And the woman just confirmed it to us. Now, we have the NIA officer, the district officer himself, who seems not to have idea of where the machine was gotten from.
The Kaneshie Divisional Police Commander, ACP Edward Fachik-Kumi, says they are still searching for the NIA officials involved in the matter.
The two NIA officials who were reported to be staying in the house, they were not met. The landlord was met, and then she was invited to report to the police this morning. This morning she reported, and we've interviewed her as to what actually was going on in the house. We've also spoken extensively with the complainants who reported the case. We've spoken to the district EC official responsible for the area, and we are yet to get the two NIA officials who were staying in the house. So for now, the case is under investigations. This is just the preliminary stage of it. As you are aware, it happened just yesterday in the night, and this morning we've made a follow-up to the house. We've spoken to the complainants.
In a related development, the police has granted bail to an NIA official who was arrested for illegally registering two Nigerians for 60 Ghana cedis. The data input official of NIA was arrested at Busokai during the ongoing NIA registration on Monday.
On Monday, the supervisor at Abosukai area responsible for the registration of the ID card also brought in one of their workers, one Timothy Wuni, and according to her, her attention was drawn by some bystanders that that young man was trying to register some foreigners. So she brought him in, and then he was also cautioned, and statements were taken from him. Yesterday, he led us to arrest the commissioner of oath responsible for the area, who endorsed the form as one of the requirements. And that commissioner of oath is also in custody. But because of the 48-hour rule, the young man who was arrested on Monday, he was granted bail this morning.
The police is currently looking for the 2 Nigerians involved in this case. For Joy News, Matilda Pamaga, Accra.
Meanwhile, former President John Mahama is calling for investigations into the circumstances surrounding the Ghana card registration exercise in a private residence at Kaneshie. Speaking at Choco during a tour to thank the party for electing him as flag bearer, he said the ongoing exercise is a national activity which should not have been allowed to continue during unofficial hours in a private residence.
And I expect that the authorities of the National Identification Authority will take very seriously the recent case that happened. This is a national exercise. It is not a partisan exercise. It is supposed to register all Ghanaians of all walks of life, notwithstanding your political, religious, or ethnic affiliation. And so they should investigate what happened very well. It is alleged that some people were registering in the night in a private house. It is not correct for that to happen. And so we should find out what the circumstances were and make sure that it doesn't happen again. But I encourage all Ghanaians to come out and register for the Ghana card.
Well, the Executive Secretary of the National Identification Authority, Professor Kenatefa, has commended former President John Mahama for asking for the investigations into complaints of malpractices that have characterized the registration process. He was, however, unhappy that sections of society is attributing some criminal activities of registration officials to the president's intent to rig the 2020 elections. He spoke earlier on the Super Morning Show.
The public is hereby enjoined. I'm pleading with the Ghanaian public to be vigilant on this registration exercise on 3 levels, Daniel. First, theft of NIA equipment, materials, and supplies by NIA personnel and by members of the public would constitute a threat to the successful execution of this mandate. And the public is requested to assist us by being vigilant and reporting to NIA and to the security agencies. Second, registration offenses by NIA officials, such as the one Evans just described. As I said, if events occurred as alleged, they are criminal and they ought to be treated as such. Third, the registration of foreigners in this mass registration exercise, this Ghana card registration exercise for Ghanaians, constitutes a crime. And we enjoin the public to assist us in policing the boundaries of Ghanaian citizenship by helping to keep out the foreigners. And where a person has reason to believe that a foreigner is registering, has registered, or is attempting to register, the law provides a mechanism for dealing with it. We call it the challenge process. You just alert an NIA official and they will assist in covering that situation. They will assist in having the, getting information from you so that you provide information on a form. Then our officials will also get the person you are challenging to, also fill a form. It will go to a district registration review committee. That committee is chaired by the district magistrate or circuit court judge. It has the police commander for the district on it. It has a member of the a senior official of the Ghana Education Service, a senior official of the social welfare. It has a traditional leader. It has a Christian, Christian leader. It has a traditional authority. All kinds of people that I call the accredited knowers in the community who will impartially investigate the claims and help determine. And so if you say you are a Ghanaian, surely you belong to a certain community, there must be circumstances that you ought to be able to provide which will show the facticity of your claim to being a Ghanaian. Which school did you attend? Where were you born? Who were your classmates? What was your class 1 teacher's name? Who were your classmates? And things that can be used to verify which church or community, which mosque, all kinds of things. The law itself has thought through, the makers of the law thought through this process. It is there. It is available to every Ghanaian who believes that another person's eligibility to enrollment on the register is not credible to use it. Finally, I'm appealing to the Ghanaian public to assist us by being decorous and not being exaggerative. I know it is hardship that people will have to get out of their homes to go and queue, and sometimes data connectivity challenges will frustrate people. But exaggeration and bombast, such as the kind that you played at the very beginning, talking of massive fraud, when you have a scattering, 2-3 people out of about 7,000 people doing something that is criminal, attributing it to His Excellency the President, Akufo-Addo supervised, all of those needlessly politicize the the registration environment. We need to sanitize. We need to have a more hygienic conversation about the national identification registration process. And in that sense, I commend His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama for asking NIA to investigate the allegations and also urging the generality of the public to go and register for the Ghana card. I think that is a responsible position to take. I commend him, and that is the way, the manner, the spirit in which we ought to move as a nation and reduce the needless political hype and tenor and have a more hygienic discourse.
Okay. Before we come to my specific question of what happens at 5 p.m.
That was my preface.
Yes. On what basis do you call this a scattering of events?
Well, what we have over 350 registration centers across West Accra, Greater Accra West. We've about 7,000 people deployed. We've been in operation since 29th of April. We have had 3 key incidents. I can even add 2, if you like, that I can tell you about. But we've had a case at Abosokai. We've had a case at Awudome, Kaneshi Awudome. There is also another one at Botiano. Now, I know of my own staff bringing to our attention a case at Media. Now, so it's about 5 instances. Now, when you have about 7,000 people out there...
But these are the reported instances, aren't they?
Yes, but I'm telling you that the comment that the man made, the Otukono gentleman made, that comment is based on the known, the reported
known
case.
To him, because
yes.
I have listened to him speak on a number of occasions, and he often refers to people reporting to him personally. So, which is why I'm asking that maybe you have done a full survey or a study or an investigation to establish that the recorded incidents are the only incidents that have occurred. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So you have investigated to establish that these are the only incidents, irregularities in the system.
Yes. You see, we have, but before I even, the answer is yes, but before I go there, Mr. Otukono's comments are based on what he knows. What he knows is what he has shared. What he knows cannot, by any stretch of anyone's imagination on the planet, establish a claim, a well-founded claim of massive fraud. That's what I'm calling attention to.
Of course, it's just a matter of words.
No, it's not a matter of words, Daniel. Excuse me. Daniel,
I'm calling it a matter of words for a reason. You'll understand when I finish.
All right.
You call it scattered. He calls it massive. I'm not saying any of you is right. I'm asking how you came to your choice of words.
I came to my choice of words on the evidentiary basis. The evidentiary basis is that, and I have even volunteered 2 more to you.
Okay.
Yes,
it's fine.
And I'm open about it because we must enlist the support of Ghanaians to make this a successful process for all of us. And when we exaggerate and we use bombast, it creates problems. Now, there is no question that out of, and even if you had 10 cases, you cannot, by any understanding, call that massive fraud.
Okay.
And so that's number 1. Number 2, when you were talking to the gentleman, you yourself could sense some inconsistencies. Right, you were pointing out some dynamics, some dimensions that are potentially problematic. That's why I said if events occurred as alleged. Last week Saturday, there was a story about some person with disability who had been badly treated at a registration center. It went viral and created enormous problems. I had to issue a statement. When we met with the Federation of Persons with Disability on Monday, her own rendition was completely different from how it had been characterized and depicted on social media. And she rendered an apology, and the Federation offered to issue a statement withdrawing and apologizing. We have to be circumspect. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay.